We are live now. We can start.
Okay. সকলোকে নমস্কাৰ জনাই ক্লাইমেট ডায়লগ সিৰিজৰ ৱে ফৰৱাৰ্ড সিৰিজৰ আজিৰ সেশনটো আৰম্ভ কৰিছো আৰু আজি আমাৰ মাজত আছে ইমানুৱেল ৰংমি তেওঁ ট্ৰপিকেল সাইক্লোন ইয়াৰ জন্ম কেনেকৈ হয় আৰু কেনেকৈ গ্ৰোথ হয় তাৰ ট্ৰপিকেল সাইক্লোন একোটাৰ কেনেকৈ মৃত্যু হয় তাৰ বিষয়ে আজিৰ সেশনটোত কব আৰু এই সেশনটোত আমি ট্ৰপিকেল সাইক্লোন বিলাকে উত্তৰ পূৰ্বাঞ্চল বা অসমৰ ওপৰত কিবা প্ৰভাৱ পেলাব পাৰে নেকি বা বৰ্ডাৰ জিলাৰ লগত ইয়াৰ কিবা কানেকশ্যন আছে নেকি সেই বিষয়ে আমি কথা পাতিম ইমানুৱেল ৰংমে লখিপুৰ চহৰৰ কাছাৰ জিলাৰ কাছাৰৰ লখিপুৰ চহৰৰ আৰু তেওঁ স্কুলত পঢ়িছিলে ইমানুৱেল ইংলিছ হাই স্কুল পইলাপুলত আৰু তাৰ পাছত তেওঁ শিলচৰৰ ৰামানুজ গুপ্তা জুনিয়ৰ কলেজৰ পৰা হায়াৰ সেকেন্ডাৰী কৰে আৰু ইয়াৰ পাছত তেওঁ BSc কৰে ফিজিক্সত কাছাৰ কলেজত then he goes to IIT-BBSR for his master's in atmospheric and oceanic sciences etia Emmanuel Rongmie Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology Pune Ph.D. কৰি আছে tropical cyclone or genesis or oporot. His research interests includes extreme weather phenomena like heat waves and tropical cyclones, comprehension of the tropical cyclogenesis process over the open Indian Ocean using a numerical weather prediction model, and the impact of large-scale environmental factors on the tropical cyclones genesis. Emmanuel নিজৰ atmospheric science এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ ৰিচাৰ্চ কৰিবৰ কাৰণে বহুত কোডিঙৰ দৰকাৰ হয় গতিকে ইমানুৱেলে ইয়াৰ বাহিৰেও বেলেগ বেলেগ সাইন্টিফিক কমিউনিটিৰ লগতো কোডিং কৰি ভাল পায় আৰু ইমানুৱেলে খুব ধুনীয়া গিটাৰ বজায় তেওঁ ছবি আঁকি ভাল পায় তেওঁ গান শুনি ভাল পায় সো আজি welcome Emmanuel to our session আৰু looking forward to have a very great session আৰু সেশনটো আৰম্ভ কৰাৰ আগতে তুমি আমাক আৰু আমাৰ অডিয়েন্সক এড্ৰেছ কৰি এহাৰ কবা নেকি
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Navonita. Namaskar, everyone. মোৰ নাম Emmanuel Rongmie. More as Dr. Navonita has introduced about me. So I'm currently working in tropical cyclones over Indian Ocean, and I believe that this will be a good interactive session discussing to everyone the genesis, growth, and the decay of tropical cyclones, and also I believe that there will be many some basic things which will be discussed and will create a general awareness to everyone of us. And I believe that whatever we are going to discuss, that everybody will have a takeaway message with them. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Emmanuel. So, Emmanuel, scientific research or discussion only যোৱাৰ আগমুহূৰ্তত যেহেতু আমি ইংৰাজী আৰু অসমীয়া বা বেলেগ মানে মিহলি কৰি কথা পাতিম মোটামুটিকৈ সো তুমি তোমাৰ মাদাৰ টাঙত এড্ৰেছ কৰি দুই আখৰ কবা নেকি
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Azan Emmanuel Rongmie tunakawe. I ibam I general discussion kagong tonge. General discussion I tropical cyclones lampo I discuss supine mai goinata. I discuss tropical cyclones of tubukum na northeast India the impact supine bo. Northeast India takum na influence supine bo to my anu jao pune. Tang hilam pa alumne to my thaukumai northeast India for students go bamba mai go who want to know about atmospheric science. Can you general awareness like company to my domain hit session right now tonkue I Dr. Navonita and Dr. Vidut Goswami kana never akang he platform tilo my new way discussion super tonku that thank you.
Okay, thank you Emmanuel. Moi I mean it was very nice শুনি পেলাই অকমান মণিপুৰী শুনা লগত মানে মণিপুৰীৰ লগত মিল থাকা যেন লাগিছে I don't know I may be wrong
okay I think no
oh no okay because I mean that proves যে মই মণিপুৰী নাজানো ৰংমিও নাজানো so anyways so it was nice and thank you last line to tumi ki kola exactly dhoribo noilo
yeah
I could hear that you thanked both of us and Enajori for giving you the platform
exactly exactly yeah
okay great so we'll straight away come to the discussion that we are supposed to do on tropical cyclones.
Yeah.
So before going to the details and basics, the first thing first, what is tropical cyclone? How do we define it? How is it? Yeah, what is tropical cyclone?
Yeah. Okay. Some tropical cyclone, basically we know that it's a large, it's a big synoptic scale system. Synoptic scale system, like it's a time period that lasts for like 5 to 6 days and has a spatial scale, means the size of the system being around 300 kilometers in diameter. So it generally forms above the open ocean. So tropical cyclones, if people say sometimes, like when I was doing my master's, one of my professor, Dr. 𝘊𝘅 𝘠𝑚𝑜hanty, would say, so have you seen tropical cyclones? Have you seen when you are in Odisha? Because Odisha is to get affected by tropical cyclone. So we would just, with inquisitive mind, because we have not studied just the beginning of the atmospheric science. So we would say, we would love to see, we would go and see in the open ocean how the tropical cyclones look like. So it's not like it. So I would just I'm giving you about the structures. I'm giving you the rough idea of tropical cyclones. So whoever sitting and watching at home can just imagine, just think you are in the open ocean. Like in the open ocean, you see there is a deep, the ocean is very vast. So we have two Mahasagar, like two big ocean, like Arabian Sea and and Bay of Bengal. So over the warm ocean, there is always moisture due to the warming of the SST, the warming of the SST. There is a evaporation takes place and the cloud form. So this multiple cloud forms over the open ocean clusters together. They combine together and they form a large circulation pattern over the open ocean. So now if you see sometimes over the satellites, from the satellite images, or just see in the newspaper, you'll see a spiral types of systems for image you'll see. Or if you go to like some coffee shop or see, you'll see that in the surface of the coffee, you'll see some spiraling structures are there. So these types of patterns are forms in the big open ocean. And this is defined as the tropical cyclone. And within these structures are the band of clouds, means group of cloud that is clustered together around the center of a low pressure. Means where there is a low pressure is there. So now what is low pressure? If I go on talking, is like, say in the open ocean, if there is a warming of SST. Now what happens is that always when there is a warm water, the warm air right at that position rises up. It rises up because of being lighter. Now when it rises up, the air in the below that, it tries to gust into it. And this how the genesis of the tropical cyclone starts taking place. And similarly, multiple clouds bands are formed around that region. So this all clusters together and forms a big circulation patterns in the open ocean, and that remains for like 2 to 3 days, gaining moistures, getting heat from the ocean, and that's how it gained the intensity. That is the wind speed increases, and that's how the tropical cyclone forms over the open ocean. So now I will give an explanation to, like, for whoever have I believe people who are here also must be aware of it, but just for everyone to understand. So like if you see in the basin, like water basin, if you see, now if you on the tap, now what happens is the water tries to get sucked in below. So when you see at the center, you see the spiraling of the water is taking place and moving down. So this is the pattern which is taking place in the open ocean when cyclones form. So if I tell you now what is cyclone, so you can imagine that type of structures, that type of circulation pattern are formed in the open ocean. So I hope everybody is clear, knows what the word tropical cyclone right now. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for trying to sum up a very tough topic in a very short period of time. But eta kotha jitu moi বুজি পাইছো বুলি ধৰিছো, but still I would like to confirm it. এই যেটো তুমি example দিলা পানী ৱাটাৰ বেচিনত ভৰাই পেলাই বেচিনটোত মানে তলত পানীখিনি এনেকৈ স্পাইৰেল হৈ পেলাই পৰি যোৱাটো এই যিটো স্পাইৰেলিং ইফেক্ট
Yes.
মই যিমান দূৰ বুজি পাইছোঁ that স্পাইৰেলিং ইফেক্ট ইজ যিটো এটমছফিয়াৰত ট্ৰপিকেল চাইক্লনটো ফৰ্ম হ'বৰ কাৰণে সেই স্পাইৰেলিং ইফেক্টটো comes from the rotation of Earth.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay.
So there is a parameter called Coriolis parameter that comes because of the rotation of the Earth.
Yes.
So now if you see in the globe, like you saw at the center of the globe, let's divide the globe into two, upper hemisphere and the lower hemisphere, the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. So at the center, we call it the equator. Now at the equator, this is the calm region and the most warm region in the globe. So this is the region where the SST is also warmer and many convection are taking place there. Cloud formation are taking, rigorous convections are taking place in the central of the equator, in center of the globe. Now what happens is that when we move from the equator, say 0 degree, the center is 0 degree. When it is at 0 degree, the Coriolis force does not act. It is 0. It does not have. It's very negligible. Now when you move from the 0 degree to little bit higher in latitude, north, like 1 degree north, 2 degree, 4 degree, 5 degree. So the system where the rotation forms in the equator, it tries to move slowly towards the Indian landmass. So when it moves along the Indian landmass, it gains, the Coriolis force helps the system to rotate more over the Indian Ocean. And that's how the rotation gets intensifies. So one more example it comes up in my mind is like, if you know, in the village area, people play top. The top, they try the notes. Latum, yes, exactly. Now, when you see the thread, you can imagine the thread is Coriolis force. Just imagine it is a Coriolis force, and the latum is your globe.
Tropical cyclone.
Tropical cyclone.
Okay,
yeah. So now, when you push it, throw it, the force comes from that string of that latum wire. So that's how the Coriolis force helps the latum to rotate. So that's how the Coriolis force in the open ocean also helps tropical cyclone to rotate more faster and helps in fully grow or more gigantic structure. Yeah.
Yes. So I guess that's where the name tropical cyclone comes from. Current cyclone hobor karone jitu tumi kola je open ocean which is warm.
Yes.
Ocean needs to be warm. Aru tate Coriolis force thakibo lage.
Exactly.
So that combination can be found only near the tropics.
Near the tropic. So other conditions are also there. Not only this is the two conditions. There is a famous scientist called W.M. Gray, 1964. So he mentioned the 6 prerequisites, means the necessary conditions for formation of tropical cyclone. So first condition is the warm SST. Warm SST means the water surface of the ocean should be very warm, like roughly it should be 27. So we call in Ohomia, I think 27 degrees Celsius.
Yes.
So it should be 27 degrees Celsius. So warm SST is required over the ocean. Why it requires? Because it will help in evaporation. What is evaporation? Let's see, when we have a morning cup of tea, we see that when we morning cup of tea, we see there is a vapor coming up. It's a form of evaporation. So in the open ocean also, it is taking place very slowly. It's not that cup of tea is boiling in the open ocean, but slowly evaporation is taking place due to the heating on the due to a warm SST. So this is one of the prerequisite condition, one of the condition. Then second is the your wind shear. So this is a very big term, wind shear. So now wind shear, like if you divide, like if you break down the atmosphere into 2 parts, like from surface to the top, say from the surface, like where I am standing, right, or where I am standing, and if I go to the top, like say 12 kilometers, if I go and divide the atmosphere. So what happens is that upper wind blows in opposite direction and the other blows in the opposite direction. So wind direction is one blowing from west to east in the equator, and the blowing from east to west. Now what happens is that when there is a strong shear, this convection below, when the moisture is rising, it does not allow it to grow. So when it does not allow to grow, it does not help the cloud to extend. So when it does not get extend, it does not help or facilitate to form the tropical cyclones. So this is one of the factor that the wind shear should be very less. Means the crossing of the wind on the two layer, on the vertical layer, should be very less, so that it get facilitated. I would say like ventilation, like you should allow your cup of tea to remove your plate, that so that it can flow directly up. If you block it, it will not grow. So it will not let it cool also. So that's how one of the example I can mention about the wind shear. The other thing is which we mentioned, the Coriolis force. You can imagine about Latum. And other things are like, you can talk about conditional instability. It's a very big term again. Conditional instability, what we can say is that for the layman, we can say that warm, the atmosphere should be unstable, means warm air should be below. So when it is warm air is below, so what happens is that it helps in bringing all the moistures or letting the air to rust in. So that's how the instability grows and helps in the development of tropical cyclone. So these are the fundamental requisites for the formation of tropical cyclone. It sometimes says, people say that if one is missing, will the tropical cyclone form? That type conditions are there. So basically, yeah, it might form, but it's not totally negligible. Yeah, little taste is there. So when you cook curry, you should put everything little. It's not that if I don't want to eat spicy, I'll never keep the spices. At least a pinch of salt, a pinch of spiciness should be there, so to make the to enhance the taste. So similarly, for the development of the tropical cyclone, spice, every that ingredient should be added a bit for the complete development of the system. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I think we got a taste of all the spices of tropical cyclones.
Yeah.
Little bit. So, jitu moi bujisu, like tropical cyclones essentially develops over open ocean. I mean, because gute ingredient jibilak factor kotha kola tar bhitor, the first factor is warm SST or warm ocean surface. Ocean surface or jitu vapor jabo ba jitu moisture emit hobo, he moisture is tropical cyclone or karone fuel or kam koribo.
Yes.
So, but why do we need to care for tropical cyclone? Ami jetia matir uporot thaku, landor uporot thakar pasot, why do we need to care? I mean, tropical cyclone landoloi ahibo nahibo, keneke ahibo, ba ahile kiman dur landor bhitorot impact koribo inland?
Okay. Yeah. So what happened is right now, like now we know the prerequisite conditions, like tropical cyclone require, one of the most important factor is the SST. Now in the land, what happens is that now when the system grows, when the system have a genesis, so it needs all the requisite condition. Now when the system that the continuous supply of moisture is supplied in the moisture and the warm SST are there in the ahead of the track of the cyclone, it helps in continuation of the engine of the cyclone, tropical cyclone. So what happens is that it helps in release of the latent heat. It release due to latent heat, the systems will maintain its strength. Now what happens is that when it enters the enters in the landmass, the moistures get cut off. So when the moistures get cut off, the system does not grow. So it just die off. So for complete to continue or to sustain the tropical cyclone, the SST has to be supplied. The SST is one of the requisite conditions for the system to continue. Yeah. But over the Indian landmass, there is no SST. So when it hit the land, so when a system is when a tropical cyclone is over the open ocean and hits like say Bangladesh or Odisha, the moistures get cut off. So there is no supply of moisture into the system. As a result, the system does not get energy for fueling the tropical cyclone. So it just die off when it hit the land. Yeah.
Okay. No, actually, I think moi jitu kotha khudibo khujisilu, that's about when the moisture source gets cut off. Then do we need to care about tropical cyclone being inland?
Yeah. If you say moisture cut off, you mean to say ocean moisture?
Ocean moisture is cut off. But
we need
over
to.
land, over land there is no fuel available for the tropical cyclone. If
Yeah.
we neglect,
Till then we have to care about it, because when the system hits the land, it does not die immediately. It
Yes,
takes
that's
time. It
that's
takes
what my
times
question.
to die off. Say, for example, I'll just give an example to everyone. If you are driving a truck with around 120 km/h, so immediately if you see someone standing there, if you hold the brake, you will run, and immediately when you hold the brake, the truck will not stop. So the truck, because of inertia, it will move to some distance. So similarly, in tropical cyclone, what happens is that when it hit with some certain speed, say recently Amphan cyclones and Mora cyclone in 2017, when it hit Bangladesh, it does not die off immediately. It has some momentum with it. It supplied some moistures from the Sundarban area, and the system, when it hit with depression, it goes as a low. But when it goes with low, the speed from 60 km/h, it drops down to 30 km. So it takes time to decay. So that decay period also has a large impact on the Indian landmass. And also when the system, like fully grown system, when it hit the Indian landmass, what happens is that half of the system body is over the Indian landmass. So that brings lots of rainfall and lots of a strong wind that cause a huge devastation over the Indian landmass.
Yes. So how far can it move inside the inland, like 200 kilometers, 100 kilometers?
Yeah, roughly 200, 300 kilometers it can go till it falls into the speed decays around 30 km/h or less than that. So it will continue to move as long as its inertia is there. Yeah.
Okay. So in that context, tropical cyclone eta Bay of Bengal ba Bangopsagarot, so Bay of Bengal jodi eta tropical cyclone thake, so Assam ba northeast is like 200 kilometers from Bay of Bengal.
Yeah.
So how northeastern India gets affected by a tropical cyclone?
Yes. Okay. So before going that, I will now look my cyclone definition table of wind speeds. So when the system hit over the Indian landmass, it will be like depression. Depression. If I say what is depression, so it is deep depression will be around 50 km/h, and deep depression will be 31 to 49 km/h. So when it goes over the Indian land, so it hit Bangladesh, so it will not die off immediately. It will move towards Meghalaya. If the system is very strong, it will move with that speed for some certain distance. And when it hit the Meghalaya, as there will be mountains and all that, till those things will also hamper the wind speed. But till then, the wind speed, when it is in low, the last stage called the low, it has a speed of around 30 km/h. So that 30 km/h is so sufficient that it can cause a huge devastation devastation over the northeast India. So those things can bring a lot of rainfall also, and where there are plateau and plain areas, so this will be flooded. So yeah, indeed, in fact, cyclone sitting in Bangladesh can have an influence in northeast India, like Assam, Meghalaya, and all. Yeah.
Okay. And I was curious, so is there any preferred month for tropical cyclones?
Okay, before sorry,
Okay.
Victor, before going to that question, so
Yeah.
I was looking at the actually Northeast India map with Bangladesh and yeah. So my point is, আমি যেহেতু মেঘালয়ৰ পাহাৰৰ কথা পাতি আছো, so it's like quite inland, right?
Yes.
It's quite far from the ocean.
Yeah.
So how about like Tripura, Mizoram? I mean, why I'm asking, so the mountain range in the northeastern region, I'm not sure how hilly Tripura is. So it's coming inland of Bangladesh, isn't it? Tripura is coming inland of Bangladesh.
Yes.
In the map, yes. So my question is, so jodi cyclone to Bangladesh par hoy ami Meghalaya paharot khundiwar kotha koi asu. So how about the Tripura and Mizoram, considering the height of the like mountains? Is it
Okay.
is it like high enough to cut off the cyclone for hitting the land?
No, see, there will be either one possibility will be there. There will be. It's not that every mountain is like in the like its same elevation. Some will be
Yes.
high, some will be low. So
Right.
there will be a possibility that where there is a low mountains are there, the wind influence will still be there. But where there is a strong, little bit steep mountains are high mountains are there, there's a possible that the orographic liftings will take place. So those orographic lifting will be those things also will be getting modulated by those incoming of that wind from the from the depression and all, and that will bring rainfalls over those regions. So in other way it will modulate, or in the other way the system's wind will have an impact on the on that region.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
so what I would like to say is like if Northeast, if Bangladesh is hit by tropical cyclone, the post like there will be strong, there will be some mid latitude Rossby waves or some other flow will be there. So those systems, what will happen when it hits Bangladesh area or something, that it might take away, it will drift towards those regions, towards the more eastern part. So there is a high possibility that it will get drifted. It's not that when it hits the Bangladesh, it will go directly towards Assam or Meghalaya, but there's a high possibility it will little bit recover. So whenever you see the track of a cyclone in news and all, after hitting Bangladesh, it recovers a bit little towards the east, extreme east. So here we can see that these are the influence of the upper scale large flow that brings the system towards more eastern. So what happens is that the band of the cloud, the spiral structure, half of the spiral structures or part of the spiral structure will be over the Northeast India. That might bring rainfall, or that might modulate the orographic lifting which is taking place.
yeah, I'm just sharing the topography of Northeast India just to put things in perspective.
Yes.
So like all these
I think তুমি অলপ সৰু কৰিব পাৰা মেপখন।
নাই মই ডাঙৰে কৰি থৈছো, কাৰণ মানে just to show like a spot, I think more cursor to visible হৈ আছে, this spot is Meghalaya.
Yes.
And so does Cachar, any regional studies there, like because there is like a gap here, there are no mountains. I was just wondering that Cachar okoman besi influence hoy niki by tropical cyclones?
I can't exactly say like that Cachar is directly influenced by tropical cyclone, but
it looks to me mane dekhi pelai moi eneka bhabisu je yate, because there is a gap, like these are all, these red means 1.5 kilometers high mountain, and this is
the influence. The influence can be felt. The influence can be felt here.
Yeah, this is nice. I mean, I just thought it will be nice to pull up the map.
Okay. So মই মেপখন অন হৈ থাকোতে ইমানুৱেলক আৰু এটা প্ৰশ্ন সুধিব বিচাৰো তেতিয়াহ'লে। So since you are from Cachar আৰু বিদ্যুতে যেটো কোৱেশ্চন সুধিছে আৰু তুমি এটা ট্ৰপিকেল সাইক্লোন পঢ়ি আছা, so if you do a retrospect and then see that during while you were there, I mean like before coming for higher studies, right? How is the situation, like how frequent you experience this kind of weather?
I would just thank you for reminding me to bring up my mom's word. My mom, when I was in my 10th standard, or not 10th standard, exact 7, 8 standard. So we have like my mom used to tell, that time I am not aware about tropical cyclones and related. So my mom would say, Bangladesh hit by tropical cyclone. So tropical cyclone hit Bangladesh. So I would wonder what exactly it is. Then she would say that it is hit in Bangladesh. Then my father would counter and say that it hit in Bangladesh. Then how can you feel it? It's very far. So that type of things came. So I used to discuss with my guide, Dr. 𝘊𝘁𝗆 also. I used to share my experience to her, and she also used to talk on that. And in fact, yes, well, when I was in my 10, 12 or 7, 8, 9 standard, I experienced those things over the Cachar region. It brings just as earlier discussion I said that when the system hit and then the remnants bring lots of rain and then strong wind. So Cachar being in the plain area, so it's always it gets affected and like get flooded by the effect of that tropical cyclone that hit Bangladesh. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that
And
was
like there will be always confusions between monsoons and tropical cyclones over the Cachar districts or Northeast India. People are confused whether hitting in Bangladesh and how come in the inland you get rainfall. They will be confusing and they will be saying that it is because of the monsoon rain, not because of the cyclone. But that's how people should be aware of it, that tropical cyclone also can give such a rain in short time compared to the monsoon rain. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that actually puts things perspective for the next question I was about to ask.
Yeah.
Tropical cyclones or preferred time month of the year ki hobo? Mane monsoon logot confused hoy jodi, is it during summer months? Because mane tinta bostru kotha actually we thought of discussing all three more. Just ATI I'm bringing that up. যে প্রি মনসুন টাইম আমি কম বৰষুণ আহিলে আমাৰ বৰদৈচিলা বা নৰৱেষ্টাৰ্ছ টেকনিকেল টাৰ্মছত বৰদৈচিলাৰ পৰা ৰেইন আহে যিটো প্ৰি মনসুন টাইম মাৰ্চ এপ্ৰিল মে অৰ ৰাদাৰ এপ্ৰিল মে বহাগ বিহুৰ সময়ত যিটো আমাৰ হেৰি হয় বৰদৈচিলা আহে আৰু তাৰ পাছত সামাৰ সিজনত বৰষুণ আহে ডিউ টু মনসুন অফ কোৰ্স গতিকে ট্ৰপিকেল সাইক্লোনৰ টাইমটো কেতিয়া হ'ব যদি মানে মনসুনৰ লগত কনফিউজ কৰে ইজ ইট ডিউৰিং দ্য সামাৰ মান্থস অৰ
ওকে No, exactly. Very interesting question asked. Yeah. So tropical cyclones generally Indian. Just let's stick with the Indian region. Tropical cyclones has a two peaks, so it has a bimodal structure. Bimodal structures mean if I plot in time January to December, there will be having one peak down and then one peak. So two bimodal two structures will be there. Peak. So see, if I say my hand is a graph, so you take one and then down, no cyclone, and then here one down. So this is the peak. So what happened? This peak time is March, April, May. That is the pre-monsoon. So Indian monsoon is the monsoon. The season is described as like pre-monsoon, monsoon, and the post-monsoon. Pre-monsoon is March, April, May. Monsoon is June, July, August, September, and post-monsoon you can say October, November, or December. So during the pre-monsoon time, there's a peak of tropical cyclones over the Indian Ocean, and the post-monsoon season, October, November, December. So just before I was talking about the wind shear, that crossing of the two direction. So basically during the monsoon time, June, July, August, the shear is very strong. So tropical cyclone does not form. It has no possibility of forming of tropical cyclone. But recently, because of the climate change and the structural change, there is a that mentions that the season has tropical cyclone also started forming in the early monsoon onset time. So but classically like earlier studies has mentioned that pre-monsoon and the post-monsoon are the two seasons where tropical cyclones has a peak season and it formed. But in the monsoon season, what tropical cyclone form is not exactly it's a tropical cyclone, it's a tropical depression. So it forms over the head Bay of Bengal and enters in the monsoon trough region. So these are different, which stays for a very short duration of time, and the dynamical structure is also different. But in the open ocean, what it forms, it lasts for a longer time, 6 to 7 days. So in the 𝘊𝘁𝑚, that is bordociloi, it forms in the early pre-monsoon during the month prior to monsoon, March, April, May time. So these are the localized event that is extended from Indo-Gangetic Plain towards, which goes towards the Bay of West Bengal and then extended toward the Northeast India. So these are the localized cloud formations over the warm surface of the land. These are formed because of the insolation warming, diurnal heating. Diurnal heating means like we know in the Northeast India during the afternoon time, like 2 to 3 p.m. it's very hot. So this creates the instability that creates the vertical lower warming, which results in the rising of the moisture from the surrounding. This results in the formation of cloud, and that's how those clouds results in the formation of thunderstorms, strong lightning during the pre-monsoon time. But in what we say tropical cyclone forming in the pre-monsoon time is it starts from the lower open ocean, like from the equator. It comes with some certain speeds. But what 𝘊𝘊𝘆𝗃𝗃 things are like localized. It forms in the afternoon when there is a strong heating, diurnal heating. So these two are different. But in terms of physics, if you check in terms of physics, the dynamical when the system cloud thunderstorms forms, these are like, if I say thunderstorm, like it's a single patches of cloud, deep cumulonimbus cloud. But when I combine those cumulonimbus cloud, like multiple, like 5, 6, 15, many if I combine and club up together in the open ocean, that is a tropical cyclone. But if I segregate and form one thunderstorm, that is a part of that 𝘊𝘊𝘆𝗃𝗃 or 𝘊𝘆𝘆𝗃𝗃, what we call thunderstorms or lightning. So thunderstorm lightning brings lots of hailstorms, lightning over the Northeast India during the pre-monsoon time. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it is getting more and more relevant with Northeast India because recently we had hailstorms and big hails, hill বৰষুণ যিটো হ'ল recently. দুটা তিনটা মান we read in the newspapers.
Yes. So Northeast India is always getting affected because of the lightning, hailstorm. Because what is important is the thunderstorm for the Northeast India. Because in Northeast India is like many farmers, people of Northeast are dependent on agriculture and rice farming, rice cultivation. So during the pre-monsoon time, they do seedings of the rice. So during that event, I used to see in my childhood, like they used to go in the strong rain. When there is a rain during the pre-monsoon time, there will be heavy rain, there will be lightning going on, which we even scared to walk out there. So the farmer used to go and walk in the open without anything, like just they have that one, we have the Assamese topi with a straight one. So that hat, they will take it and then they go in the field and they walk. So sometimes some news we get like one of the farmers will be struck by the lightning and there's a loss of life. So those things are there. So yeah, thunderstorm, to understand thunderstorms in the climate, in the weather perspective is very important, especially for Northeast India.
Yes. But what I was interested to ask is because you said pre-monsoon and post-monsoon, like pre-monsoon is March, April, May, and post-monsoon is October, November. So, but focusing on pre-monsoon time, jitu samoyot 𝘊𝘆𝘆𝘆𝗃 is active.
Yeah.
So 𝘊𝘆𝘆𝘆𝗃 samoyto is active period for tropical cyclones. And 𝘊𝘆𝘆𝘆𝗃, as you said, brings like thunderstorms, and it's sometimes life-threatening, and it's very it has high significance for cultivation and everything. যে আমি যিখিনি সময়ত ধান ৰুওঁ বা হেৰি কৰোঁ সেইখিনি সময়ত heavy rainfall আহিলে so there are a lot of consequences. But what I wanted to ask is tropical cyclones and 𝘊𝘆𝘆𝘆𝗃 or 𝘊𝘆𝘆𝘆𝘆𝗃. So tropical since the both peak at the same time of the year, same months of the year, is there any evidence that tropical cyclone helps forming nor'westers?
Exactly. Maybe I do not know. I actually that might be possible. Like when the systems hit Indian landmass, it might modulate what is existence or precursor thunderstorms are there. That might modulate it. But apart from there, how they're interconnected, I don't think so. They are interconnected. Like tropical cyclone is totally different, and 𝘊𝘆𝘆𝘆𝘆𝗃 is totally different.
Yeah. That would be interesting to know. Yeah, I mean,
I have a question here.
Okay.
Sorry. Yes. So Emmanuel, to me যেটো কথা কৈছা যে normally tropical cyclones has two peaks, right?
Yes.
Pre-monsoon and post-monsoon. And you were saying that during monsoon কেতিয়াবা form হয়. So is it because of the changing climate? Because it's one question just popped in my mind. Like I wanted to ask the climate change or লগে লগে কেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ change hoise, but yeah, how do you connect like change in climate, tropical cyclones? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, like one of the things which we can relate is the anthropogenic factors, the release of biomass burnings or pollutions or many industrial release of gases or pollutions to the atmosphere. These are causing the global warming. So this can impact directly, that can have a positive feedback as well as negative feedback on the SSTs of the open ocean. So those things, we know that according to studies, many scientists have mentioned that the global SST is rising. So this is a warning for every people, not only for the climate scientists or people, for the normal people also. Because what happened is that, as I mentioned, the driving mechanism for the tropical cyclone, the strengthening of the tropical cyclone is fueled by the SST. So the more the SST is getting warm because of the global warming, the more number of tropical cyclones will form. So recent studies by Mehta Deshpande and all, they have mentioned that over the Arabian Sea, number of tropical cyclones, number of the intensity and the duration of tropical cyclone has increased. So this is one of the warning for the people, everyone, even for the climate, warning for everyone, and especially for the coastal areas and also for the inland people. Because what happened is that the more the number of cyclones form, the stronger the intensity, it will cause a loss of devastation over the coastal area. So yes, indeed, because global warming and climate change has caused an impact on the SST, which will result directly on the formation of tropical cyclone and the intensification of tropical cyclone. So one more thing I would like to add up is why in the recently studies also mentions that as am I audible?
Yes.
So recently people says that the pre-monsoon, interestingly, pre-monsoon and post-monsoon, like during the monsoon, before, like you don't have June, July, August, September is not time for cyclone. But rarely you can see 1 to 3 cases in the historical time. You can see 2, 3 cyclones are forming in the peak monsoon time also. But now what happened is that most of the cyclone has started to form in the first week, like before the monsoon starts. So in the June, even the June month, also cyclones are forming. Why? Because this is also one of the response from the climate perspective. Because monsoon is, people says the monsoons are weakening. What does the monsoon weakening refers? It refers to the weakening of the shear. So during the monsoon time, what happened is that the band of cloud, that is ITCZ, is propagating along with the tilting of the sun, moving along the Indian landmass, again coming back. That is the reversal of the propagation of the ITCZ during the monsoon time. So within that ITCZ, the tropical cyclone form. This is the seeding. Just like in the one interesting theory is there by Dunkerton from the USA called marsupial paradigm theory. So it's like a baby is a kangaroo carrying a small baby in his pouch. It's like the ITCZ itself is like a kangaroo carrying a baby baby kangaroo in its pouch. It's a cyclone, a small seeding of cyclone which is carried by ITCZ. But what happened is that during the monsoon time, the strong shear does not result the baby to grow. But when the monsoon is weak itself, the shear is weak, then the seeding which is taking place within the ITCZ fully grows and develops. So yeah, in fact, climate change is one of the climate change is causing an impact on the formation of tropical cyclones or the genesis of tropical cyclones over the Indian Ocean.
Yeah, this is this was a good example, that kangaroo carrying a baby in its pouch.
Yeah.
যে tropical cyclones যেটো আমি আৰম্ভণিতে discuss কৰিছিলো, যে there are 6 basic factors that helps a tropical cyclone to grow.
Yes.
তাৰ ভিতৰত এটা factor আছিলে যে weak wind shear.
Yes.
So now monsoon season or tropical cyclone form hobar karone jetu bostu obstacle, as an obstacle it stays, is the strong wind shear. But during in a changing climate, monsoon has been reported to have weakened, or the shear has been reported to have weakened. So that might actually weaken the obstacle that prohibits a tropical cyclone to grow. So that gave us a good perspective of how tropical cyclones can respond to respond to climate change. But I have another question which is more related to your research work. So I have seen you have done quite a bit of research on the behavior of tropical cyclones in the two different oceans, Indian Ocean or 𝘗𝘶𝗵𝗺, like Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea.
Okay.
So would you like to share something about different behavior of tropical cyclones in Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal?
Yeah. So just like recently, the status, there is a paper, the changing status of tropical cyclone. So what can I mention is that there is no different structures in the tropical cyclone about the Bay of Bengal. They follow the same dynamics. So what happened is that during the monsoon, during the recent period, what happened is that the frequency of tropical cyclones and the durations of tropical cyclones over the two basins has increased, or compared to Bay of Bengal in the Arabian Sea, it has increased. So this is the things that we can see. But however, when we see the dynamical structures and all, I think we both are the same.
Similar.
Yeah,
but you said Bay of Bengal, the increase is more, right?
No, Arabian Sea is
Arabian Sea increases more. Oh, okay, okay. I was just thinking from Northeast India perspective that Bay of Bengal increases more.
Yeah. So, but what happened is that, well, though the frequency is less, but the intensity is very high. So if you don't get in a year, if you say in a season, if you don't get 3 cyclones, that's also enough. But if one or two cyclone is a super cyclone, that's the story.
So what is historically, what is how many cyclones will be there in a normal year in Bay of Bengal?
Roughly 4 to 5. Yeah.
4 to 5.
Yeah.
So that's in the months of March, April, May.
Yeah, March, April, May, and this one combined March, April, May, and October, November, December.
Oh yes. Yeah. March, April. Yeah, that's because I was calculating like March, April, May, jadi 3 to 4 every cyclone with a week.
Yes.
So like 25% or 30% of the time would be cyclone, which is
not terrifying.
Exactly. Yeah.
So recently we have looking into it, like we are checking the atmospheric vortices. Like there will be many times lows and all will be forming over the Indian Ocean, but that's not guarantee that every lows or everything will form. So there will be some conditions to be fulfilled to form a tropical cyclone. So, and it is a very challenging to say. So recently we have our team has worked on like predicting tropical cyclogenesis within 5 to 10 days in advance. So we are looking into it, how we can predict the tropical cyclone. So we could predict the tropical cyclogenesis within 5 to 10 days in advance before the formation by looking into different parameters. And one of the challenging still we are going on is like how to distinguish whether when the system form, how can you say by tomorrow that this system is going to form into a fully grown cyclone? So that the public can take a precaution in advance. Yes. So this will help in the global warming perspective also. Like if I say, I do not know whether this is the right platform to say or not, but I think this will create innovative ideas to who are here to off for atmospheric science studies. Yeah. So it's like you can recently people talks about the weather modifications and all. So say if you are living in 2100 years, like say this year is 2100 year. So if you say like tropical cyclones forming over the equator itself after crossing 4° north latitude, it became into super cyclone. So at that time that would be possible that the category of cyclone will not, the super cyclone will be no more. Super cyclone will be the initial stage of the cyclone, maybe. Then more of a super cyclone might be possible. So that time taking an advanced actions in the coastal areas will now be used. So in that case, what can we do as an inquisitive mind is like we can seed some aerosols or that can dissipate the systems in the open ocean and does not let the systems to grow by knowing those things. So these are the which are the works can be done in the futures in the weather modification for the betterment of the mankind. Yeah.
Yes. So in
Yeah.
line with
Sorry,
okay.
yes. So because we are nearing the time, so actually, Emmanuel, I want to go back to your place, Cachar again.
Yes.
So তুমি যেটো কথা কলা যে আমাৰ দুটা পিক থাকে ট্ৰপিকেল সাইক্লোনৰ আৰু যেতিয়া বৰষুণ আহে people cannot distinguish between monsoon rainfall and the rainfall from the like tropical cyclones hitting Bangladesh, right?
Yes.
So এতিয়া মোৰ কথাটো হ'ল যেহেতু এটা পিক তোমাৰ উইন্টাৰৰ ফালে হয়. So then also people think that it was a kind of rainfall from the monsoon. And what is the kind of awareness among the people about these cyclones?
The status of people about the status to differentiate those you are asking on that.
One question is yes. I mean, like how? Yes. One question is about that, and one question is karon mane ki moi Tezpuror. So moi keteo tropical cyclone Bangladesh ahi hit korise. It was just the newspaper, you know,
Yes,
article. So we never bothered about it. Gotike kenekwa dhoroner kono dhoroner awareness ba news like amar majot nasile. So moi mane khodibo koisu jehetu tumar maye koy je tropical Bangladesh ahisile ba there was a discussion between your parents, you know.
Yes,
so gotike moi mane khodibo khojisu je and there is also like possibility that Cachar may get affected by the tropical cyclones hitting Bangladesh, right? It's far near.
Yes.
So সেইকাৰণে মানে মই খুটিব খুজিছো যে মানুহৰ মাজত awareness কেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ awareness program ইত্যাদি আছে like how they are prepared.
So like when tropical cyclones hit the coastal areas, the government takes an action like NDRF and all those things are there, which government IMD declares the information. The newspapers declares the information to the public that tropical cyclone is hitting in that land. So take the necessary precautions. So these are the information how people are reach out by the government of India. And in terms of atmospheric point of view, if you want to know that whether it's from the Bhubaneswar effect or from the tropical cyclone, is that when the cyclones comes to the Bangladesh area, close to Bangladesh area, the part I mentioned that part of the systems already hit the Indian landmass in the Bangladesh and little bit above Meghalaya and all. So those wind gusts will be started to felt. You will feel the effect by 1 or 2 days in advance. But what happens is the thunderstorm lightning is like a diurnal thing. Like you get in the afternoon and then by the evening it's cleared. So
no. My question is like how do people like common public
to or reach out to the common
how
people.
do common public perceive about this? Like okay, it's a winter or borokhun hoy ase, kintu this is not even a monsoon month, right? They are at least that much aware about it, but still they cannot identify that this rainfall is from some for due to like some other regions, or they are aware about that this is tropical cyclones. We are getting rainfall because of this kind of events going on at some other places or something like that. How the common public's perception about everything, how much they are aware, how much they can identify and all these things. Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, you wanted to know like people whether people are aware of it or not.
Yes, exactly.
No. In the Cachar districts or most of the northeast area, people are not aware of it until unless it is from the media or from the news. So they just consider that it's just a winter rain, winter showers, or it is like that, but not from the tropical cyclones or like that. But what happened is that most of the northeast India, most of the public in the northeast India knows that it hits when the cyclone hit, and then after the post effect, they know that it is due to the cyclone, but not prior to that, people do not know. So it is very important. In fact, it is very important. Like the media should reach out to the northeast India, and the experts who are working there should reach out to them to explain about whether it is from the tropical cyclones or it's from the winter rain.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
okay. Sorry, Vitin, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, in the same line, I wanted to ask
Yeah.
if like being somebody who is working on tropical cyclones, can you suggest something, some small project at at school level, which students can like do, like to appreciate or to make themselves more aware about tropical cyclones?
Yeah, oh, okay. It's interesting. Yeah. If I think in that point of view, I would like to divide into two parts, like from junior section, middle class section, middle school section, and then higher school section. For the junior section, like they should project. Yeah, project can be defined like you can buy if you have a thermometer, something like that. You can learn how to take the measurement of your inside your room or outside the room. So that's how you can know the difference between how the temperature is measured. And for the intermediate people, I would like that I will inform that they can go to NASA webpage or something like that. So there will be many photo contests, like how the weather changed during the pre-monsoon time, monsoon, and post-monsoon. So for a season, they can check for one snapshot, because Northeast India is a very nice place. It's full of scenic beauty. So they can take one snapshot during the pre-monsoon time, monsoon time, and post-monsoon time, and they can make a school project, and they can check for respective years. And they can also look for how I have noticed, like in the Northeast India, the flood is no more the flood like before. It's totally different. The place where there is no stagnant of water, it remains stagnant for almost 4, 5, 6 months. So those things I know, I have seen in my own eyes, but I can't take it out back from my eyes and to show to everyone. But those memories can be made to show that how the Northeast India is getting affected. Those are the things. And I believe that these are the things which people are notice. NASA is also giving an open photo contest competitions also. So that can also be introduced. And for higher class studies, I would like say, if you are in school or carrying out projects and all, I would to say just get a normal tipping bucket for measuring rainfall, or get a thermometer and start measuring for the temperature at your school or near your home. Keep one fixed position, just measure the temperature, how the daily temperature is varying. So if you can measure it, it will be a plus point for the scientific community also, that you can provide the data, like since you're for a long duration, the school is like 5, 6 years, school is measuring the temperature in that zone. So that will be also one of the records for that schools also. So that can be on a plus point for the students. So both students can also learn the same thing, and they can also provide for the scientific community in that way.
So do you have some kind of initiative in that area?
Yeah, in my hometown, I just measures the temperatures, and then like relative humidity, that's all. And just I'm trying to
including students.
No, I have not started up that. So after, I think right after the PhD, I'll start. So I'm thinking that my school, the place where I've done my up to 10th, so I can initiate that program so they can start up that. Yeah.
Right. So, Emmanuel, just one last question from my side. Quick last question. Sure. So, since your mother tongue is like you speak Rongmie.
Yeah.
I'm right. So I believe there won't be much documentations in that vernacular medium, isn't it?
Yes.
So. Yeah. So do you how do you see that? How do you think that you can go back to your community and then make people aware? So in your own language.
Yeah, it will be very fruitful for me. Like if I can go back and produce the same.
Go back means I am not meaning go back physically. I'm just
no. Yeah. Sorry for
yes.
How difficult it to commit. It will be. I don't think it will be difficult, but the literature, the Rongmie literature is there, so that 𝑐𝑐.committee can help us to reach out this atmospheric science in that field too. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't think it will be difficult, but it will be a plus point for everyone to know about this field, about atmospheric science also, because most of them are not aware. So I would like to say, like, I'm from physics background. I do not know there is an existence of atmospheric science in IIT Bhubaneswar. So when I just got selected for IIT Bhubaneswar, I just checked out and saw that I got the first place was given as atmospheric science. Then I just go immediately the moment when I was shortlisted in the atmospheric science, I just went to the web page and I just checked what are the syllabus. Let me see. So when I saw the syllabus, oh, it's a very interesting, because I wanted a subject which has a mixtures of everything, like chemistry, physics, mathematics, biology, fluid, everything should be there. I don't want to leave physics. I don't want to leave mathematics. I want to be like stick with it. So atmospheric and ocean science is a wonderful subject where everything is incorporated, from computationals to tough complex mathematics, everything is included. So like, I would not discriminate other basic sciences. Yeah, of course they are also very useful, but atmospheric science give you the real vibe of the real world. You know, like what, see today, like say in here right now in Pune, I'm sitting here. So if I want to see thunder raining in some particular region, I can sense it with the satellite. I can check it with the satellite data. So I can check. If I want to go inside the cloud, I have the numerical models. I can go inside the cloud and see how the cloud forms takes place, what is going on inside the cloud. So these are all physics which is practically applied. So this is the one of the wonderful branch in what I have come across.
The beauty of the subject, yes.
Yeah.
Where you can sense the results immediately.
Yes. So I would like to encourage everyone, like, yeah, to look into it. Like, it has no boundary for even the scientific problems are very wide. So you can pick up any topic and then go on working. Simple topic you can pick up and then move till the limit where you can make it complex. Yeah.
Yes. So great. I think we have come to the end of the session, and it was a great last few minutes of motivation from Emmanuel about pursuing a career in atmospheric sciences. So how do we go from here? Do we have any questions on Facebook, or if anyone wants to quickly ask? We know that we haven't left any time for the audience to ask any question, but still, konobai jodi kiba khodibo khoje, quickly we can just unmute your mic. We can just allow one question in the interest of time.
There is no question in Facebook, so we can probably spare 5 minutes for the audience.
Yeah.
So if they have question, they can unmute and then like ask.
Otherwise for next, so instead of waiting quiet, we will abruptly stop whenever somebody asks, but otherwise we won't. We will just keep chatting because I'm enjoying the chat. So
yeah, I think 𝘊𝘂𝗵𝗺 unmuted.
No.
Yeah, I unmuted, but I don't have any question. I'm just watching it. Yeah, I was watching the show. I was watching it from Facebook, so I just came.
Okay. No worries.
Okay, great. Yeah, I was wondering, since you said your like your parents.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Hello, Emmanuel sir.
Hello,
I have just one question, one basic question. As Arabian Sea's sea surface temperature is increasing.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm sorry. As there is recent study shows in Arabian Sea there are increasing number of cyclones as before. So what could be the possible reason?
Oh, yeah.
Or
so
it is related to temperature or something, salinity.
Yeah, this is directly related to sea surface temperature only. Yeah, other factors are also there, but if I go on explain, it will be complex. So like if I say, I think you must be from the background. So MGO, equatorial Rossby wave, Kelvin waves roles are there. So these are also one of the factors for that. And yeah, in the Arabian Sea, what we see like during the monsoon onset time, the wind shear is very weak. That is also one of the factors for that, increasing the count. But yeah, of course, the SST is responsible for the increasing the number of counts in the Arabian Sea.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, just as a side note, if there is a very targeted question, then you can afford to be technical if you think that summarizing it technically would help you summarize quickly. So yeah, I think we
no more question.
I would
Yes,
like
sir.
to, if you allow me, I'd just like to introduce my guide, Dr. 𝘊𝘁𝗆 𝗵𝗺, if she's here.
Oh, yes, Medha is not here, I guess, if he's not coming with some other name.
Okay, and I think, and one my lab mate, the monocrantis, yeah.
Oh, Aditi has asked a question.
Is there any connection with ocean salinity leading to SST variation? So I think, that's related to the increase of tropical cyclones over Arabian Sea.
Yeah, there is I can't exactly mention it, but there is a relation with mixed layer depth and very layer depth. Yeah, there is a relation. There is a relationship with the variation of salinity in the tropical increasing in tropical cyclone also. Yes, there is.
Okay.
Yes, just let me announce, if anyone wants to pursue the discussion, like post the session, so please feel free to reach out to us for Emmanuel's email ID. I hope that's okay with Emmanuel.
Yeah,
so
sure.
yeah, so we can give the email ID, and then you can keep the discussion, go on, have a good paper, and yeah, so like yeah, some fruitful work. Yes, sorry, Emmanuel, you were introducing someone. I forgot. Probably
one of my lab mate is there. Monokranti can, if she is here, she can join. And my guide, Dr. 𝘊𝘁𝗆 𝗵𝗺, who is a scientist here in IIT Pune, and she is my guide, and I'm currently working with her.
Medha is not here. Who is the other person?
Monokranti. No, I don't see that name on the participant list.
Okay, it's okay.
But yes, of course. I mean, they can
see the live.
The Facebook recording will be there, and then they can watch it later as well.
Yeah.
And thank you for your time, and thank you for the nice discussion we had. And if as Navonita said, some participants, anybody, if they want to pursue this discussion, they can write to us or comment below the Facebook video, and we will be happy to share Emmanuel's email ID, and then you can continue that discussion. Sure. So with that, I think we are
with Vidyut's note, probably we can sum up. And somebody is trying to, Dr. Nanaji Rao.
He can join.
Okay.
I think
so. Probably he wants to see you. Hi, but yeah, I admitted him. But we are almost summing up, and for the audience. So yeah, this is the. I just want to say that this is the first session of our 2023 season for Climate Dialogues with Way Forward series. And we definitely had a very good, fruitful discussion with Emmanuel Rongmie as a speaker. And we'll come up with further sessions on similar topics related to climate science and climate change and adaptation, activism, everything. So yeah, thank you.
With this we can
thank you.
And thank you very much
today.
for giving me the privilege for this platform.
Yes, and thank you, Anasari, for this platform. So Emmanuel,
we can stop the Facebook